This video I set out to see. Why did a small island that's less than 1% of Brazil get almost 1 million more tourists than Brazil? And what I found was shocking. More tourism than anywhere else in Spain, and yet we're the poorest region. We get the lowest salaries and we pay the most for everything because all products are priced for the foreigners. As someone from Tenerife, this is the furthest thing from good news. The tourism industry has grown to a completely unsustainable level where a one-product economy that relies exclusively on an industry that wrecks the local economy has turned the housing market into a complete ghost for anyone but wealthy foreigners and destroys the natural environment that turned us into a touristic location in the first place. We've already more impoverished than ever, and the problem is only getting worse as the rich keep getting richer. Tourism only makes us poorer while filling the pockets of mainlander and foreign investors who don't have to deal with the nightmare they've created. If you care about the Canary Islands, don't vacation here. Not until the tourism industry is under control and becomes reasonable, which will probably not happen until the islands are already exhausted beyond repair. Yes, everyone focuses on why people don't go to Brazil, but they don't realize the large number of people who go to a small island and the problems this causes us. Lack of water in summer, polluted beaches, lack of housing, the lowest calories in the country, and the most expensive food. It's not about not coming on vacation. It's about how they come. A Scottish flag! Tenerife gets more tourists than Brazil despite being 0.02% of its size. Brazil gets 6.6 million tourists, while Tenerife, a little sea state by the western shore of Brazil, no, sorry, it's not near Brazil at all, it's just here on this picture, but again, it's a European country, gets 7.2 million tourists, despite being less than 1% of Brazil's size. This is data from 2024. So let's take a deep dive into why Brazil doesn't have enough tourists from Tenerife, from the mind of Redders. Here we go. Okay. Alright, we're already there. As a Canarian, is Canarian correct in English? The over-tourism is a huge problem that nobody wants to solve. The islands cannot cope with these kind of numbers. I feel like most Spanish islands have issues with how they manage tourism, despite the fact that the islands are economically needing it. I remember talking with some natives from Malacora, explaining how they can't even afford housing anymore because of the influx of Germans and English people richer than them from the interior. What do you think it is? Menorca was stricter with overbuilding, which means it's nicer. It also means it's really expensive, though. I'm a native British English speaker married to a Canary Islander. Heard something about or from Canaries. So, my wife is a Canary Islander. She likes Canarian food. Don't know why the hell that was talked about. Okay, let's close that thread. The Canary Islands had 33 murders in 2,666 people. Brazil had 45,522 murders in 2020, with a population of 210 million. One murder for every 4,613 people.
The Canary Islands, the actual murder rate is even smaller, because of the 33 people that got murdered, you can have foreigners either as the victims or the perpetrators, and yet they aren't counted on the statistic of the per capita, since they're not part of the 2.2 million.
Well, comparing the flight prices from Europe to Tenerife with those to Brazil, this doesn't surprise me. You fly to Brazil if you have some weeks off and want to go specifically to Brazil, and you have saved a good amount of money beforehand. You fly to Tenerife because you have a few days off and want to go somewhere warm where you can swim and hike, and you have a couple €100 laying around.
I must say Tenerife is bigger than I thought if the scale is correct.
The scale is not correct.
Note that this only international tourists.
We get